ancient Greece was the cradle of civilization, a land of philosophers, democracy, art, and reason. A golden age that gave birth to the modern world. But history has a habit of polishing the past, until the truth beneath begins to crack. Behind the marble statues and heroic myths lies a far more complex reality. A world built on division, exclusion, fear, and contradiction. A society that celebrated freedom, while denying it to most. That praised reason, yet feared ideas. That shaped the future, while struggling to survive its own flaws. These are not the stories found in textbooks. These are the hidden truths, the uncomfortable facts, and forgotten realities of the ancient Greeks. To understand how our world was born, we must first confront what history chose to leave behind. This is ancient Greece as you've never seen it before. 1. Ancient Greece was not a single country. Ancient Greece was never a unified nation in the modern sense. Instead, it was a collection of independent city-states, each with its own government, laws, army, and identity. These city-states often saw themselves as rivals rather than allies, even though they shared language, religion, and cultural traditions. Loyalty was directed to one city-state, not to Greece as a whole. Cities like Athens and Sparta were vastly different in values and lifestyle. While Athens emphasized philosophy, art, and democracy, Sparta focused almost entirely on military discipline. This fragmentation led to frequent wars among Greeks themselves, weakening them and eventually making them vulnerable to external conquest. 2. Democracy excluded most people. Greek democracy is often praised as the foundation of modern democratic systems, but it was far from inclusive. Only free-born adult males who were citizens could participate in political life. Women, slaves, foreigners, and children, who made up the majority of the population, had no political rights whatsoever. Even among citizens, participation required time and wealth. Attending assemblies or serving in government meant abandoning daily work, something poorer citizens struggled to afford. Democracy in ancient Greece was revolutionary, but it was also deeply limited and unequal by today's standards. 3. Slavery was central to Greek society. Slavery was not a marginal institution in ancient Greece. It was fundamental to its economy and lifestyle. Enslaved people worked in homes, farms, mines, workshops, and even government offices. Without slave labor, many Greek citizens would not have had the leisure time required for philosophy, politics, or art. Unlike modern racial slavery, Greek slavery was not based on skin color. Slaves were often prisoners of war or victims of piracy. Despite this difference, their lives were harsh, and they had virtually no rights. Even the most enlightened philosophers accepted slavery as a natural part of society. For women lived very different lives depending on the city. The experience of women in ancient Greece varied dramatically from one city-state to another. In many places, women were expected to remain indoors, manage households, and avoid public life. Education for girls was minimal, and marriage often occurred at a very young age. However, in Sparta, women enjoyed far greater freedom. They were educated, exercised publicly on land, and could speak openly. Spartan society believed strong women produced strong warriors, making them an exception in the ancient world. 5. The Olympic Games were brutal. The ancient Olympic Games were far more violent than their modern counterparts. Athletes competed naked, with events including boxing and pancration, a no-holds-barred combat sport combining wrestling and boxing. Injuries and deaths were not uncommon, and there were no weight classes or safety equipment. Winning the Olympics brought immense honor. Victors were celebrated as heroes, received lifelong privileges, and sometimes had statues erected in their honor. For Greeks, athletic excellence was seen as proof of moral and physical superiority. 6. Religion controlled daily life. Greek religion was deeply woven into everyday existence. The gods were believed to influence everything, from weather and health to war and politics. People made constant offerings, prayers, and sacrifices to remain in the gods' favor. Temples were not just places of worship, but centers of community life. Oracles, especially the one at Delphi, were consulted before major decisions. Even skeptics respected religious rituals, fearing divine punishment for disrespect. 7. Ancient Greeks believed in curses. Curses were taken very seriously in ancient Greece. People believed that written curses, often inscribed on lead tablets, could influence gods or spirits to bring harm to enemies. These cursed tablets have been found buried in graves, wells, and temples. They targeted rivals in love, business, or court cases. The widespread use of curses reveals a society deeply anxious about fate, justice, and unseen forces shaping human lives. 8. Warfare was constant. War was a near-constant reality in ancient Greece. City-states frequently clashed over land, trade, honor, or political influence. Military service was considered a duty of citizenship, and failure to fight could lead to disgrace. Greek warfare emphasized heavy infantry soldiers called hoplites, who fought in tight formations known as phalanxes. Victory depended more on discipline and unity than individual heroics. 9. Philosophy was not abstract. It was dangerous. Philosophy in ancient Greece was not just theoretical debate. It challenged power structures and social norms. Philosophers questioned religion, politics, and morality, making them deeply controversial figures. The execution of Socrates is the most famous example. Accused of corrupting the youth and impiety, he was sentenced to death, proving that free thought had limits even in intellectual Athens. 10. Medicine was advanced but unscientific. Greek doctors made significant progress in understanding anatomy and disease. They emphasized observation and natural causes rather than superstition. The medical tradition associated with Hippocrates laid foundations for modern medicine. However, treatments were often dangerous. Bloodletting, purging, and extreme diets were common. Without knowledge of germs or infection, even skilled physicians could do more harm than good. 11. Education was reserved for the elite. Education in ancient Greece was not universal. Boys from wealthy families learned reading, music, athletics, and rhetoric, while poorer children often worked from a young age. Girls were rarely formally educated. Except in Sparta, knowledge was considered a privilege, reinforcing social hierarchies and limiting upward mobility. 12. Art was highly symbolic. Greek art was not merely decorative. It conveyed ideals of beauty, balance, and perfection. Sculptures represented gods and athletes in idealized forms, not realistic ones. This focus on ideal beauty shaped Western art for centuries. Even imperfections were carefully calculated to create visual harmony. 13. Marriage was more about property than love. Marriage in ancient Greece was primarily an economic arrangement. Families negotiated unions to strengthen alliances and preserve wealth. Romantic love was rarely considered important. Women had little choice in marriage, and large age gaps were common. Emotional fulfillment was often sought outside marriage. 14. Ancient Greeks feared hubris. Hubris, excessive pride, was considered one of the greatest sins. Greeks believed that arrogance invited divine punishment. Many myths revolve around heroes destroyed by their own pride. This belief shaped behavior, encouraging moderation and humility. Success was always tempered by fear of offending the gods. 15. Theater was a religious act. Greek theater originated as a form of worship dedicated to Dionysus. Plays were performed during religious festivals, and attendance was considered a civic duty. Tragedies explored fate, suffering, and moral dilemmas, while comedies criticized politics and society. Theater was both entertainment and moral education. 16. Food was simple but symbolic. The Greek diet was modest, based on bread, olives, wine, and fish. Meat was rare and usually eaten during religious sacrifices. Food had spiritual meaning, and communal meals reinforced social bonds. Excessive eating was frowned upon. 17. Time was measured differently. Ancient Greeks did not divide time into minutes and seconds. Instead, they measured days by sunlight and seasons by agriculture. This created a flexible sense of time, where schedules adapted to nature rather than rigid clocks. 18. Foreigners were both valued and distrusted. Foreigners, known as medics, played vital roles as traders and craftsmen. However, they were denied citizenship and political rights. Despite contributing to prosperity, they remained outsiders, highlighting the exclusivity of Greek identity. 19. Death was feared, not romanticized. Greeks did not idealize the afterlife. Most believed in a bleak underworld where souls wandered without joy. This belief made earthly achievement and honor crucial. Glory in life mattered more than hope in death. 20. Ancient Greece influenced the world more than it knew. The ideas of ancient Greece shaped philosophy, politics, science, and art across centuries. Thinkers like Plato and Aristotle laid intellectual foundations still studied today. Yet the Greeks themselves never imagined their legacy would endure for thousands of years. Their world was fragile, divided, and imperfect, but its influence proved eternal. And there you have it, 20 uncommon facts about ancient Greece. If you have enjoyed this video, kindly hit the subscribe button to get more educated videos from this channel. Also, like and share this video to spread the knowledge. Finally, do you have any uncommon facts you are curious about and would love us to make a video on and share? Please drop your thoughts in the comments, and we would surely make a video about it and post on this channel. For now is bye and see you in the next one.